some candy? Want some candy? Want some candy?
Show off your Halloween costume.
I am the child predator.
Yeah, we're gonna need a new name.
Sounds good to me.
This whole pedo thing, it's like, is it really pedophilia? I don't want to be the one that has to say it, but I guess I'm being forced to say it. It's not really pedophilia, okay? They weren't trafficking 5-year-olds. It was like they were technically not legal. Big difference, in my opinion. I know that's a controversial take, but that's not really the issue there, okay? The issue is not that they were barely legal teens, which is what it is. It's horrendous. It's awful. It's pedophilia. Okay, relax.
All journalists know that there's some things you don't write about and you don't talk about because you'll lose your job. And that's where the control is. And that's why they pay anchormen like Dan Rather $2 million a year. Because he doesn't question them. He knows that if he goes against them, he's going to lose $2 million a year. Do you think a man that looks pretty and sits in front of a TV camera for the 6 o'clock news is worth $2 million a year? No way. I don't care how long he works and I don't care what he does. There is no job worth $2 million a year. That's why they pay athletes these fantastic salaries. I was listening to the radio the other day. They just contracted to pay one player on one team $6 million a year. Can you believe this?
And why is that?
It's the Roman circus. What does the emperor do when the people become restive? And when the people are asking questions and when the people don't like the policies of the emperor, he sends them to the circus. He creates a circus. He builds a giant coliseum. And he begins to throw the Christians to the lions. And he has great chariot races and football games and basketball games, all to keep the idiots preoccupied with things that don't mean anything in the scheme of the entire world. So that they don't have the time to learn what the truth is. So they don't ever get smart enough to learn how they're being manipulated. So they don't ever question the emperor. That's why they pay a player on a football team or a baseball team $1 million or $2 million or $3 million a year. It is the Roman circus. I know men who don't know anything in the world.
For like 2 seconds. All right, cool. That's one thing you said too. This is a Feast of Purim tonight, so enjoy yourselves. Some food in here, some drink in here. Enjoy yourself tonight. A lot of I heard a lot of people. No, I don't say. Some of the sisters from the world think that we don't never show women no love. We're about to show women some love tonight. We're gonna talk about a woman. Her name was Queen Esther. All right, we're gonna talk about her, and we're gonna give her all the praise and all that stuff. We're gonna remember these things that this sister did, and this sister is gonna forever be remembered. All right. That video was crazy that you had on before it started. I think when I go to God like people's houses and stuff, sometimes and they watching like football and they start talking to me about football, that's like really the only time I feel like socially awkward. I was like Captain Tom Wars people's crib. I'm at the crib and they watching the football game and it's a bunch of dudes talking and then they look at me and say, "Who's your favorite team?" And I'm like, I don't know, man. They're like, oh man, what do you think about such and such getting traded to this team? I'm like, they asked me again. I'm like, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's the only time I'm like socially awkward is like when it comes to like sports. Like I don't know none of that. Like now, if you talking about documentaries or something like that, you know, we could talk about that kind of stuff. But it's just like I don't know. I used to watch football and different sports like that, but after I saw how after Colin Kaepernick, that whole thing, I kind of lost my taste for football.
Right.
Yeah. And plus, like I said in the video, it just keeps it keeps you distracted. You know what I mean? Enough football come on, and, they ain't gonna be talking about the Epstein files no more. And if you still vote after this, after the whole Epstein files came out, that's just a sidebar. If people still vote, like nobody better ever come to me in 2028 talking about, hey man, are you registered to vote? Like if a person is like seeing what happened with the Epstein files, seeing that America is not going to upset the people that are in power, and then understanding that there is a level that you can get to in America where you're unprosecutable, because literally they got files showing that this dude was eating babies, eating kids, draining blood, doing rituals on all kinds of people that was coming up missing. They got an island where it's just full of pedophiles and ain't nobody go to jail. So that's telling you right there that America protects pedophiles. And if you think that, I'm gonna just vote Democrat because we just got to get the right Democrat in there so we can get the Republicans out of office, it was both sides of the aisle on the island. Right. Both sides of the island was on the island. Everybody was there. Bill Clinton, Obama, down to Trump, and everybody else. So it's like, if you still believe in voting after this, then you're just dumb. I don't know really what to tell you. I mean, maybe I don't know. I mean, where can we go from here? I mean, there shouldn't be no black people that vote. You know what I mean? Because obviously you see that justice is not blind, and there is a level that you can get to that there is nothing that America will do. They'll just say, well, there's nothing we could do. You know what I mean? You think they're gonna lock up the owner of Victoria's Secret? Like, what jail would he go to? You know what I'm saying? Like, what jail would the dude the director of Rush Hour go to? You know what I mean? What jail would they go to? Would they go to San Quentin? Would they go to? They wouldn't do it. So it's like America is showing you that they're not going to disrupt the oligarchy of America for poor people. That's that. I solved the case. So maybe they might say something about it, like maybe they might march somebody into court or something like that, like Prince Andrew or something like that. But there's nothing gonna happen after that. It's too many holidays in between. It's too many sports that's gonna be on, and nobody's ever gonna remember the Epstein files. I say in maybe 6 months tops. We're not even gonna be talking about that no more. But yeah, Feast of Purim tonight. So, does anybody know what the Feast of Purim is about? Nobody knows what the Feast of Purim is about. Go ahead, sis.
Is it about when Queen Esther saved the Israelites?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's right. That's right. We're here. She already knew that. She knew that. And yes, absolutely. So how you can look at it in a real life example, it would be like Michelle Obama. If I could use her as an example. Because you got Michelle Obama, she was married to a heathen, right? She's married to a heathen, Obama. Same thing in this story here. Esther was married to a heathen. And the vice president, well, Haman was he would be considered like Joe Biden, right? In that situation, you would have Esther.
Yeah, because he did.
Esther is because he was an Edomite.
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
Haman was an Edomite. So you got the Edomite, you got the heathen king, the Israelite wife, and the guy that's underneath of the heathen king, who is an Edomite, who's trying to basically put a contract. He basically tried to put a contract out on Israel to have us killed and all these types of things like that. And we're going to read the story today, and I'm going to jump everybody down all around, of course, so that we can get the gist of the story. And I would just say that if, so today is the opening, tomorrow is the closing. So we'll go through some of it today, and then we'll end the rest of it out tomorrow, right? All right, no sweat. So you want to open up your Bibles, and you want to go to the book of Esther, and we can start at the first verse, and we can go down, and I'll just skip you around just for time's sake, all right? All right. And if anybody got any questions, or if there's anything that you want to chime in, feel free to do so. No question is a bad question. If you got to say something, go ahead, sis. Edomites and who? Yes. Yeah. They're just Amalek. Same thing today. You know what I mean? Same thing today. Whether you Russian, you still white to me. White, Yugoslav. They be like, I'm not white, I'm Yugoslavian. You white. I'm from, what's that? I'm from the Czech Republic. You white. All of them. You can't fool me. So, all right, let's go ahead and start it.
It's the book of Esther, chapter 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Osiris. This is Osiris which reigned from India even unto Ethiopia, over 127 provinces.
Mm-hmm.
That in those days, when the king Osiris sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan, the palace, in the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto all his princes and his servants, the power of Persia and Media, the nobles and princes of provinces being before him.
Yeah, Persia. That Persia is like Iran today. Yeah, they bombing Iran. These are the ancient Persians right here in the Bible, and this is what's going on. And so let me skip you down. So this is the king or whatever of Persia, and we're gonna get to this party that he was in. Let me see. You can go down to verse 8, and what happened and how everything comes into play. All right, you got it.
Verse 8. And the drinking was according to the law; none did compel. For so the king had appointed to all the officers of his house that they should do according to every man's pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the woman in the royal house, which belonged to the king Osiris. Osiris. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman, Bista, Harbana, Bigtha, and Abitha, Zethar, and Carcass, and 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Osiris the king, to bring Vashti the queen before the king, with the crown broidered, to show the people and the princess her beauty. Right.
So this party's going on. Everybody having a great time. And so he sends for the chambermaids to go and get Vashti so that, he can show off his trophy wife. All right. Y'all get it. All right. Go ahead. Keep going.
For she was fair to look on. But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him. Then the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, for so was the king's manner toward all that knew law and judgment. And the next unto him was Karshina, Shethar, Admatha, Tarshid, Meres, Marcina, and Memucan, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, which saw the king's face, and which sat the first in the kingdom. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to law? because she had not performed the commandment of the king Osiris by the chamberlains. And Memucan answered before the king and princes, Vashti the queen have not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the people that are in all the provinces of King Osiris.
You know what's crazy? I heard somebody pronounce that before. It's like Ahasuerus,
Right.
something like that. But I might be kind of,
That's what it looked like.
yeah. All right, skip down to verse 17.
Come. Verse 17. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes.
Yes, because they understand that, okay, if she's going to be defiant and she's in a position of power under the king, then this could spoil everybody else, you know, kind of like they do today.
Right.
You know, like women do today. Because that with the first, go ahead.
If I can give an example,
Go
Jada
ahead.
Pinkett.
Come on.
Jada Pinkett, she pretty much embarrassed Will in front of the whole world.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good example.
She was in an entanglement. Goddamn. She was in an entanglement. I never heard that word before. An entanglement. But yeah, I mean, how many women are in entanglements now? You know, because they see, I mean, even at the top, you know, this is what's going on. So at this time, what was going on was that he called for her, she was defiant, didn't come. He had to save face in front of the people. And plus, remember, a lot of the people, well, not a lot of the people, but the people that are, everybody who's there is watching what happens with the king. You know, like what you want to do about it. I mean, not only is she disrespecting you, but she's disrespecting everybody here for not listening to you when we all listen to the king. You know what I mean? We all are subordinate to the king. And if she's not going to do that, then this could cause other women to rebel against us. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just something that, you know, when, you know what I mean? Before, I ain't going to say it all. I'll say it after we get off camera. All right, I'm going to say it. It's like, once your wife see you naked, all respect is gone. Huh? That's it. Before all of that is, yes, sir. No, sir. But man, I tell you, after that, it's all gone. And that's what's happening here. She saw the king naked, and she don't want to listen to him anymore. Now, I'm not saying this is happening. I'm just, you know, of course, I'm just playing. But we'll see. You know what I mean? We're going to read on. All right? Go ahead.
Come. The king Osiris commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not. Likewise, shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes, which have heard of the deed of the queen, thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath. If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before King Osiris, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she.
Dog, now you see what happened? This is what he did. He packed her up. You know what I mean? He packed her up, and that's that. And now we're going to get what? Somebody that's better than she is. All right? And somebody who will listen, somebody who is going to be kind, someone that is going to be able to take orders and do what the king needs her to do. All right? Damn, it said another that is better than she. Go ahead, keep going.
Khan. And when the king's decree, which he shall make, shall be published throughout all his empire, for it is great, all the wives shall give to their husbands honor, both to great and small.
Right, because they like, well, you know, did you see what the king did to her for getting, you know what I mean, for not listening? He got rid of her and got somebody else. Now, you could try that here if you want to, but the same way that it happened to her, and she's the queen, it could happen to you because you ain't the queen. So I could get rid of you and find somebody else better than you. All right? This sounds a lot like today, don't it? Go ahead.
If I could, they say, the sisters are saying they got to be in a soft girl era to listen to a brother. They got to have that femininity brought out of them.
The thing is, man, I talked to a sister about that too, where she was saying like, ain't no man do this and that, and because I hear that a lot too. When women will say that they got to be the type of man to make them be submissive and all that kind of stuff. And I told her sister about that too. I said, look, either way you put it, that's your Lord, right?
Right.
She was like, he ain't my Lord. I'm like, he's your Lord. It's just your Lord is an asshole, But I mean, it's like for my language, I'm just being straight up. Like, that's why it's important that you know how to pick your Lord, right? And a lot of women in the world don't know how to do that. That's because a lot of women in the world, they choose their man from a standpoint of what turns them on instead of what you actually is going to need. So like the nice guy that's going to, pay you, pay for your stuff and treat you right and all of that. You don't want him. You want the dude that turns you on. But that dude is going to go on upside your head after the club. You know what I mean? After a couple of Hennessy's. You know what I mean? He's going to be going upside your head. Now, should you be with that guy? No, you should be with the one that's going to treat you right, the guy like that. But we got away from the fathers that choose the woman. Choose the man for the woman. You know what I mean? Because that used to be the culture too. Like a lot of times you would go to a father and you would say, hey, look, I'm interested in your daughter. And he would say, no, it's just like that. Shut it down. But it's because the father knew what kind of qualities to look for in a man. You know what I mean? And now we got so far away from that. You have a lot of women who are choosing the wrong type of man. All right? Go ahead. Keep reading.
Okay. Verse 21. And the saying pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Mordecai. For he sent letters into all the king provinces, into every province, according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house, and that it should be published according to the language of every people.
It's not like that now. Now, you it's happy wife, happy life type of thing now, so, a lot. I remember I went to this dude crib. We was there like to do some electrical work, right? So I'm there to do some electrical work. And before we got there, we told the husband, hey man, you want us to come to your house first and then get the money from you and then go back out to Home Depot to get all of the supplies we need to do the job? Or do you want us just to stop on the way over there and then get all your stuff here? And then when we get there, we can just start. He said, oh yeah, just go to Home Depot first. Boom. We go to Home Depot, get the stuff. We pull up to the front of the crib. Who you think came yelling out the house? The wife. She comes out there. Oh man, we ain't gonna do this. You ain't gonna do this. Y'all can just go ahead and pack back up, get back in the house, get back in the car and leave because y'all late and this is very unprofessional. I'm like, yo, your husband said for us to stop and get all y'all supplies before we come here. Oh no, man, I don't care about none of that. He talking about. I said, and then dude. So now it's like mad loud because now I'm getting a little. I'm coming back at the woman because, I'm feeling a little like she's trying to sun me because we just went and spent all this money on your stuff. Now you trying to, act crazy. So her husband came out. I said, yo, man, tell her. Plus I had somebody that could have worked overtime, but they turned it down to come do the job with me that day. And so I was upset there. And the dude comes out. I'm like, yo, man, tell your wife that you told us to stop. He was like, and she's like, he ain't gonna say nothing. And he was just like, I said, yo, man, didn't you tell us to stop? Didn't you tell us to get to the stuff before from Home Depot? He was like, and I was like, look, man. And so the dude I was with, he got a Jamaican accent. And for some reason, the Caribbean accent. and he just started talking to her like, look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and do the work. And you know what I mean? He started talking to her like that, and she was like, oh, okay, all right, And then and he said that to her, you know what I mean? He rizzed her up. And then I never forgot that. You know what I mean? I never forgot that that's a household where he doesn't have any control over his household. Right. Because if that was me and my rib was doing that to the guys who's coming to do work, I would tell her, look, be quiet. I got it. Let me talk to him. You know what I mean? And if somebody asked me, hey, didn't you tell me to do that? I say, yeah, I told you to do that. You know what I mean? Don't worry about her. Y'all go ahead and get started. See what I'm saying? Done, right? All right. Boom. Let's skip up to verse 2. Skip down to verse 2 and 4.
Chapter 2.
Yeah, 2 and 4.
Chapter 2.
We're gonna skip around.
Chapter 2, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
And let the maiden which pleaseth the king be queen instead of Vashti.
Uh-huh.
And the thing pleased the king,
Mm-hmm.
and he did so. Now in Shushan, the palace, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai,
Mm-hmm.
the son of Jared, the son of Shemaiah, or Shemai.
Is it hot in here?
I can turn it down. Everybody want it?
It's pretty hot, ain't it?
Yeah, I'll turn it down.
Or is it just me? Because it's like the air is coming right here on the.
I got you.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. One more time, please.
Okay. Verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Now in Shushan the palace, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai,
Mm-hmm.
the son of Jared,
Right.
the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, a Benjamite, who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity, which had been carried away with Jokanah, king of Judah,
Mm-hmm.
whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away.
Right.
And he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter.
Right. 'Cause Hadassah was her real name, and I believe Esther was her slave name. I could be. I'm going to check on that, but I'm pretty sure that that's how it was. Yeah. It was her real name and her slave name. All right. Just like all of us had. All right. That is crazy too, man. We got some slave names, don't we? You have a brother named Patrick Murphy. Like, man. That has no roots to Africa. Go ahead.
I knew a brother named Wayne Garrett.
Yeah,
Wayne Garrett.
Mr. Crazy last name with Wall Bass. Wall because that's how white people were named. They got named after their occupation. Like the last name is Shoemaker. That's what you were. You was a shoemaker. So when you see like a brother named Paul Shoemaker, it's crazy. But I digressed. All right. So now we're at the point where Mordecai, which is her uncle, he basically hears what's going on, and he's basically saying, okay, well, my niece is, she's bad, and if the king is going to be trying to find a queen, then maybe this might be an opportunity that we can get her in there so that she will be able to use that power to advance us, right? So now we're going to go ahead into it. Verse, I think it was 7, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Verse 7. And he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother, and the maid was fair and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead, took for his own daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So it came to pass, when the king's commandment and his decree was heard, And when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan the palace, to the custody of Haggai, that Esther was brought also unto the king's house, to the custody of Haggai, keeper of the woman. And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him. And he speedily gave her things for purification, with such things as belonged to her, and 7 maidens which were meet to be given her out of the king's house, and he preferred her and her maids unto the best place of the house of the woman.
Yeah, that purification, you got, putting on them oils, all that kind of stuff, and they never have it like the other way around, right? Like where, like the brothers, what I mean? Like it's a queen and then the king died. And so the brothers got to, purify ourselves. Basically, we got to boil us. They want us to get into boiling water. And get yourself right for the queen, man. You know what I'm saying? We about to go up in here and try to get chose. You know what I mean? So the purification, right? Which is like oil, taking milk baths, all of that stuff. Right. Milk baths, you're doing all of the things to get yourself right, man. Putting on some oils, getting your body right, so that when you present it to the king, you might get chose. All right, boom. Let's get it. Where was you at?
Verse 10.
Verse 10. All right. Okay. So wait a minute. Let me see. All right, verse 10. Yeah.
Verse 10. Esther had not showed her people nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it. And Mordecai walked every day before the court.
Hold on, say that, but one time though. Could you rewind that part?
Verse 10. Esther had not showed her people nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it.
Right, like just keep it on the low. All right, because it's a plan. Go ahead.
And Mordecai walked every day before the court of the woman's house to know how Esther did and what should become of her. Now, when every maid's turn was come to go into the king Osiris, after that she had been 12 months, according to the manner of the woman.
So for a year.
For so were the days of their purifications accomplished, to wait 6 months with oil of myrrh, and 6 months with sweet odors, and with other things for the purifying of the woman.
Yeah, there you go. 12 months, a whole year. You know what I mean? She's gonna sit in that water. You know what I mean? To be right. Must be great, man, being a king. Must be wonderful, man. Because brothers out here in the world today, she ain't purifying like that. You know what I mean? But it must be great, man.
It's a lot the best a brother might get in the world is, he find a chick and she gonna just put some powder and Febreze on used clothes already. She
not doing none of that. She coming from the club and getting it on. You know what I mean? Sweaty and everything. But that's another point. But what I said, it must be great, man. That's why I say, man, I can't wait till the kingdom come, because I guess things are going to change. But yeah, all right, boom. So 6 months of odors, sweet odors, and with other things for the purifying of women, right? Keep reading. Let's give them a little bit more.
Then thus came verse 13. Then thus came every maiden unto the king. Whatsoever she desired was given her, to go with her out of the house of the woman unto the king's house. In the evening she went, and on the morrow she returned into the second house of the woman, to the custody of Shashgaz, the king's chamberlain, which kept the concubines. She came in unto the king no more, except the king delighted in her, and that she were called by name.
Yeah, because she was bad. She was a bad sister, She was bad. I mean, some women are just objectively beautiful, and everybody agrees, you know. So this is a sister that was like that, and the king knew her name. You know what I mean? Boom. So let's go to verse 15.
Now, when the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was come to go in unto the king, she required nothing but what Haggai, the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the woman, appointed. And Esther obtained favor in the sight of all of them that looked upon her. So Esther was taken unto King Ahasuerus in his house, royal in the 10th month, which is the month Tebeth, in the 7th year of his reign. And the king loved Esther above all the women, and she obtained grace and favor in his sight, more than all the virgins, so that he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen instead of Vashti.
Ain't that something else? That's something else right there. She became the queen, right? Yeah. Anybody got any questions on anything so far? No? All right, no sweat. Let's go to chapter 3. Hold on. Go down to verse 20, 2 and 20, and then we're going to go to 3, and then we'll switch up the reader.
Verse 20, chapter 2, verse 20. Esther had not yet showed her kindred, nor her people, as Mordecai had charged her. For Esther did the commandment of Mordecai, like as when she was brought up with him.
Yeah, she paying attention, and she understood the assignment. Right. Some women can't do that. They don't understand the assignment. And that's actually a real good thing. Chapter 3.
Chapter 3, verse 1. After these things did Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite.
Yeah, the Agagite. Remember, because this goes into when you start looking at Amalek, and this is the, I think I would break the whole thing down.
I did have a couple scriptures just in case you did want it to be said.
But to go into that he was a
Edomite.
Yeah, he was an Edomite. But this for the time's sake, we'll just leave it. But yeah, he was an Edomite. All right. So you got the queen, the king, and the Edomite. So the king, queen, viceroy, or whatever. All right. Go ahead.
And advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him. And the king's servant that were in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Haman. For the king had so commanded concerning him. But Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence.
Right, because we Israelites, so we don't bow down to people like that.
Right.
And it's like we stood for something. Back then it was, we was in captivity, of course, because we just don't ever seem to learn. But at this time we was under the Persians, and they was powerful. And I mean, the Persians was powerful. Until they got to the Medo-Persian Empire, where it was like a coalition, and then after that, their coalition got dismantled and disbanded because they got taken over by the Greek Empire. And then when the Greek Empire fell, here came the Greco-Roman Empire, right? Then it was the Roman Empire. And then now, where we at now? The American Empire. And we're still hard-headed. Same thing, all right? Take a long time, right? We done went through societies of white people. Now we here under Joe Biden. I'm not Joe Biden, Donald Trump. And at some point, I mean, now at least we know that Esau is the end of the world, right? So at least we know. I mean, but man, I mean, when you think about it, I mean, wasn't that before? When they said Esau was the end of the world, we done watched one group of Edomites fall, then another group of Edomites rose up. We watched them fall. hopefully this will be the last group of Edomites. Right. Lord allow. All right. But here we are. All right. So boom. Okay, boom. Let's go down to verse 5, 3 and 5.
Come. Verse 5. And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Haman full of wrath, and he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Mm-hmm. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom.
He sought to what?
Destroy all the Jews.
And this ain't far-fetched. They doing it like, what's her name? Margaret Singer. Margaret Singer set out to do the same thing, like, destroy us. She just did it with our babies. They convinced black women that, we should abort our babies instead of actually fixing the problem of why you would want to abort a baby, right? The only reason that black women would abort a baby is because of mainly probably money. You don't have enough money to survive, taking care of another mouth. But instead of them saying, okay, well, let's fix that problem. I'm not saying that that's the only problem, but let's fix that problem to help these women get money that they need to be able to take care of the kids. It's like, instead of them fixing that, they'll just say, okay, we'll just get rid of the kid and, not have any accountability there.
Right.
Go ahead. Anybody wanted any questions? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's heavy the fact that Mordecai did something, but then he attributed it to wanting to put hands on all of the Jews. Like us, like when one brother does something in the news or they see one brother doing something, now they want to bring the pain, or the punishment to all of us. And they treat all of us one way because they see, one black person do something.
Yeah, they always do it with the whole fentanyl thing,
right?
All of that. You think that fentanyl was probably for black people. When they had all that stuff coming in here, they probably had that for us, but they didn't think that it was going to go to suburban America and start killing all. Now it's a weapon of mass destruction.
Right.
Yeah, Trump said it on the State of the Union. He said that it was a weapon of mass destruction now, and that's what they labeled it as. But they pump crack cocaine. They're still crackheads. When I come to work, when I get up in the morning, I still see crackheads walking around. I'm like, damn, I thought like crack was over, right? But it's not. There's crackheads alive and thriving. You know what I'm saying? It's lucky about the thriving part, but they're still around there. You know what I mean? Like they still active. I just see mad people die, and crackheads are still alive. It's lucky. That's another point.
Is that one we saw at camp?
Yeah, that too. I'm just saying. Yeah.
She was probably a crackhead.
Yeah. I guess crack keeps you alive. I think that's the secret to life. Is you gotta be a crackhead. Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say she was a ball of demonic energy. She was just everywhere.
Yeah.
That was probably crack.
Yep.
It's a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people be out of their mind with that now. But okay, cool. So now we have where the plot where he wanted to go and get at Mordecai because Mordecai didn't show enough respect and bow down and bow his head like all the rest of the underlings should do, right? But it meant that we stood for something then, no matter what it was, all right? We're just going to get a little bit more, and then I'll save the rest for tomorrow, all right? All right, boom. Let's go to...
It's wild, this young man, Ace.
Yeah, go ahead, Ace. You up. Verse 3 and 8. I mean, chapter 3, verse 8.
Chapter 3, verse 8.
Say where you at, though. Esther.
Oh, book of Esther, chapter 3, verse 8. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the province of thy kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And their laws are diverse from all the people. Neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore, it is not for the king's prophets suffer them. Right,
because we didn't follow the laws of whatever nation we were under. You know what I mean? We always was like those people. We were the divergents. Y'all ever saw that movie Divergent? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were the divergents. Like we always like was against. It was always a lot. You had sellouts. You had sellouts in every single kingdom that we was always under, but there was always, like the scriptures say, I reserved 7,000 men that would not bow to Baal. The same thing with sisters too. There's sisters that's why it's like a sister that's in the truth is like a special type of sister, because like most sisters don't want to like hear none of this stuff that we talk about.
Right.
Most sisters want to just, turn up, and live the hot girl summer until it's time to shovel. When you see how they had them plows at them cars? They was wilding. Them plows was wilding this year. Yeah, some of these cars was just buried. You know what I mean? But them sisters was out there struggling, wasn't they? But and there's a lot of things that we definitely need to change, of course. You know what I mean? But we also, for the most part, you had men that were defiant against things. And what was that one that always tried to make us do? Eat pork.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going on with pork. It's got to be spiritual,
right?
Because I mean, you look on any value menu, or whether it's Wendy's, wherever you go, it's like, I remember I was at work one day and it was like they had meatloaf, but the meatloaf had bacon wrapped around it. And I was like, I thought that I didn't think I thought it was just meatloaf, but it had bacon, and then they had like the bacon with shrimp. And I was like, damn, it's like, then what else? They got the pork and bullets now. Don't they got like pork and the bullets?
Oh, Salaki.
They went to the dying abomination. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think when they were going against, when the soldiers were going against Muslims, I think they would like dip the bullets or have the bullets. I'm going to look it up, but it was something what they were doing, dipping the bullets in pork.
Oh my God. It's horrible. Right? So boom. Okay, so all right, Ace. So look, check it out. Let's go down to verse 9.
Verse 9. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed. And I will pay 10,000 talents of silver. See,
now I'm going to cut you off, but this is a contract. He put the bag on our head. This is what happened. Go ahead.
10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business, to bring it into the king's treasuries. Verse 10. And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it unto Haman, the son of
Hammedatha,
the Agathite, the Jews' enemy. Verse 11. And the king said unto Haman, the silver is given to thee, the people also, to do with them as it seemeth good to thee.
Yeah, so what's going on, like I said, he put the bag on us, and and so now it's basically on site with us. You know what I mean? They trying to figure out a way that they can just get rid of these disrespectful, non-bound down people, right? They still do the same thing today. It's just different tactics. You know what I mean? And then also it says the Jews. It said Hammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy. See, it's like we don't know who our enemy is today. We definitely don't even know. You give a brother a gun, he gonna shoot, his own brother. You know what I mean? We don't even know who our enemy is today, and this is why it's important. That's why, like, when I started to get this understanding, get the truth, it was like I knew that it was no reason to go anywhere else. There was no reason to try to find something that was more radical than this. When I came into this truth, it was like it was the perfect thing for me, because it was the perfect hatred. You know what I mean? It was the perfect hatred I needed, and I needed to be around brothers who just hated everything. You know what I mean? And then the sisters, they hate everything too. And what other better place can you ever be than that? What? You want to go somewhere where they welcome into all people so we can continue to be the dummies of the earth? Do you want, them damn Muslims, what's the Islam? We was in, 69th Street this week?
Awesome.
got all our sisters in hijabs. Oh man, just I mean they walking by Allah Akbar. I said, man, just it's crazy. And then what's so crazy about it is like I would never follow a religion where I was going to be a second class citizen in that religion. I would never join a religion that I'm under the Arabs. And then if I want to take my what's that called, pilgrimage to Mecca, you got to get approved. You got to get approved by the government to go. And then I got to walk around a stone and try to fight my way up there to the front. You know what I mean? To go kiss the stone. That's crazy. And then, where's we at? On 69th, right? All of those stores, those Crown Fried Chickens, all those is Arabs, right? Now, that own these stores. Now, did the Arabs, have you ever seen them get together and say, we're going to put new nets on all the basketball courts for black people? Even that. Or we're going to pick a park and we're going to clean it up. What about, you know what? We've been making so much money off black people. Let's go and let's bless a couple of families and let's, pay their rent up for a year or just anything.
Right.
No, nothing. They do absolutely nothing, but we want to follow their religion. I don't get it. I mean, I halfway get it because of Christianity. That was the alternative. The alternative to Christianity, because they hated white people so damn much, they wanted to find a religion that wasn't white. So they ran to the Arabs. But the Arabs are just as bad as the white people because they hate niggas too. Right. So if you're in the mosque, you're just in the Negro section. You're in the Negro section of the mosque. That's what it is. And why would you want to follow after some people that completely hate your guts and they're absolutely dirty too? Salakia. I don't know. I don't want to get the thing shut down, but and it's so unfortunate. It's just so unfortunate to see our people gone in Islam. And not for nothing, all those Muslims is dangerous in Philly. You know what I mean? Ain't it dangerous? Shouldn't religion make you like nice and cool with people? It's dangerous in Philly, man. You get your block shot up by a bunch of Muslims.
Right.
It's crazy. It's wild, man. And we need to get out of these religions because these types of things is what keep us destroyed. And I pray to God that all black people get out of Islam and get out of Christianity. Please, if you could hear my voice out there, get out of these religions because these religions are like, okay, where is the money? That's what I want to know. Over there in United Arab Emirates, they got so much money that they don't have like dogs and cats like poor people have. They have like cheetahs and a lion or a hawk. You know how much meat you gotta feed a hawk? You gotta feed that hawk 5,000 pounds of meat. Raw meat too. To be able to live, and for some reason, all this money just seems to skip over the black community. So I say, man, follow the money. You know what I mean? All right, boom. Where's we at?
Verse 12.
Verse 12. Let's get it.
Chapter 3. Book of Esther. Chapter 3, verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
Then were the king's scribes called on the 13th day of the first month, and there was written according to all that Haman had commanded unto the king's lieutenants and to the governors that were over every province, and to the rulers of every people of every province, according to the writing thereof. Province.
Man, you read it real good, man. Shame on the public school system. Shame on them, man, because y'all got him reading, at a great level. Go ahead.
People of every province, according to the writing thereof, and to the people after their language. In the name of the king Ashar, how do you say it?
I heard it pronounced Ahasuerus.
Ahasuerus was it written, and sealed within the king's reign. Verse 13. And the letters were sent by the post into all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and to cause perish all Jews, both young and old, little children and women, in one day, even upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar, and to take the spoil of them.
Hey, let me skip you back up a little bit. Go back up to the first paragraph of 13, and then read down to women.
And the letters were sent by post into all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and to cause perish all Jews, both young and old.
So they wanted to kill everybody for just one dude not wanting to kneel down. Right. They sent out a decree to basically kill kids too. That's the type of people that we want. We trying to figure out a way to have a rainbow coalition with. That's ever since like it's like we want to find a good white man. Like that's what our goal in America is. It's you know what I mean? Like it's like our goal in America is to become Miss America.
Good night.
That's what it is, right? Because think about it, right? If you don't have power, right? Okay, let's just say a woman, right? A woman from the ancient times, right? If that woman, even today, if a woman wants power, how can she get it? Does she, huh? There you go. So if she wanted to get married, what would she have to focus her life on? She didn't have power. What would she have to focus on? Somebody bring me all the way home. Not obedient. Huh? Who said that? Hold on, what say that again? Sexuality. There you go. You would have to focus on being seduction. You would have to focus on seduction because that's how you would get power from a man. Because if you was a woman that didn't have power and you wanted power, that's how you would get it. Your whole makeup would be on seduction. A lot of women today, that's what they do. They focus on seduction. They get the big butt, they get the teeth, they get snatched. Right. Because they want power from getting with a powerful man. So what is our job? And what are we doing, the leadership of Black people? They're focusing on seduction. They're trying to seduce the white man into acting right. But what happens? Every time we fix ourselves up, just like that woman, every time we fix ourselves up and we say, hey, look at this. I lost weight. I work out every day now. I eat right. What is that husband going to say? Well, you talk too much. He would always find something wrong to always make the relationship not work. And that's how it's been with us in America. It's like we just want to seduce the white man into marrying us so that we can be Miss America. And it just never, ever works. And I just thought about that on the fly, too. It's a lot here. But that's exactly what it is. And this is why the leadership, of course, is just, I don't even like to really say. I use that term very loosely, all right? But they wanted to kill all of us over just something that one person did. And this is the spirit that they have always had, all right? Go ahead, keep reading. You got it. Just a little bit more, and then we're going to...
Verse 14.
We're going to stop. Go ahead.
Verse 14. The copy of writing for a commandment to be given in every province was to be published unto all people, that they should be ready against that day.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 15. The comments went out, the post went out, being hastened by the king's commandment, and the decree was given in Shushan, the palace.
Mm-hmm.
And the king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city Shushan was perplexed.
Yeah, because everything was going on at that time. You got the Jews is on the run. We're trying to stay alive because everybody is a hit out on us. They even killing kids. This is what's going on. They're killing children. Just imagine if you got Donald Trump and he says, you know what? Well, I'll take it off Donald Trump. J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is like, yo, it's all out war. What you think that those militia groups are going to be doing? If they say, hey, look, man, we putting, $50,000 on anybody's head that you bring us here. You know what I mean? It's going to get real dangerous. And then women ain't going to be, talking that stuff about, you don't need a man. You're going to want to get under somebody's foot because it's going to get real dangerous. And this is why it's important. But the sister laughing. I don't say it like to mean like it's like a bad thing or anything like that. But what I mean is like to get under a man's protection, right? You would want to be like that because that's where the safety is going to lie at. The power the black woman's power has always been in the man, the black man. And it's the same thing vice versa, right? Our power lies in y'all too. So it's like, we're not going nowhere without each other. You know what I'm saying? And we're reading about a sister right now, and this sister is always going to be remembered because she's in the book, right? We're always going to remember Esther. We're always going to remember the sisters that had, sacrificed, right? And brought us through. And there's sisters today that sacrifice to bring us through, you know what I mean? And sisters that's always going to be remembered, you know what I mean? And then there's sisters that's not going to ever be remembered, Nobody's going to remember them after next week at the club, all right? But the sisters that are righteous, those sisters are going to be remembered forever, you know what I mean? And we're talking about one of them here, you know what I mean, tonight. Now, tomorrow is the closing, and we're going to finish up the chapter. So I would like everybody to be here tomorrow. Tomorrow is the mandatory class, of course. So get here, and we're going to go ahead and end the class on that note, and then we'll finish out the rest of it tomorrow. I want to give everybody enough time to eat, socialize a little bit, and then before we get up out of here. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the class over to Precinct Officer Hall.
Let me just get the camera straight. No sign of Christ. All right, this is the ISUPK security announcements. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. If a brother or sister is interested in a particular person, they are to seek counsel from the heads. After 6 months, that was after 6 months, Salakia. Also remember tithes, which is a commandment which can be found in Numbers 18 and 21, and also Malachi 3, 8 through 10. In the Hebrew, it is ma'ashera, which means 10% of any increase the Lord gives you. Also, we do have a priest fund, which is not mandatory, but it is greatly appreciated. The up and coming Holy Convocation, of course, is the closing of the feast, which is tomorrow. That'll be here in Newark, which is 51 Blue Hen Drive. All right. With that being said, if you want to be a trooper in the school, remember to wear all black boots, pants, shirt, and headband. With that being said, man of Israel, Amijah, which means to stand. Man of Israel, Amijah Shabbat, Amijah, Barak.
Yahweh Shabbat.
Yajmatah. We're going to Sar, which means turn. And we're going to give the sisters a courtesy salute. Sisters, you can go ahead and stand. We're going to get a sister time that got the shoe boot on. No sign Christ. All right. Man of Israel, Amijah Shabbat, Amijah, Barak.
Yahweh Shema Latam B'Hashem Yahushai.
No sign Christ.
Okay.
Yajmatah, class dismissed.